Right, what a day. 6 o'clock. And I have walked 8 miles. That's a kind of hike. I can feel it in my legs. So yeah, 8 miles of searching for fish. I called in at the chippy. So I've got fish and chips. And I'm going to scoff this. And yeah, that'll be it for the day. Hello, good morning, welcome back to the channel. I thought I'd do something a bit different today. Instead of just bait fishing and catching little things, I thought I'd do something a bit more adventurous. So I've travelled up the coast, up to just into Scotland, and there's quite a few marks around here which I've been with Mark in the past, so I know them quite well. I know which ones are too dangerous, I know which ones are fine. So I've came to this one first. I've got the lure out and I'm just going to try some very slow and deep lure fishing. Also going to try some top water lures, and if I can find some calmer water I'm going to put a float out as well and do a bit of float fishing, see what I can catch. So I tried a spinner earlier just to see, get a feel for the bottom. I've swapped over and I've put this on. And I'm just fishing it really slowly, pulling it through the weed, through all of the nooks and crannies, see if I can wheedle a fish out from somewhere. I am pulling the lure through the water much slower than I would do in the summer, because the fish are a lot more docile, a lot less active and a lot less inclined to go chasing after small bait fish. There's a bit of a swell rolling in, but nothing too big, no more than, what, 2 metres at the biggest. Most of them are around a metre. If it gets any bigger, I will move off here. The tide is on its way down. I've got about another hour until low water, which is why I came to this mark first, because I certainly wouldn't want to be on here any longer than an hour after low water. But to be honest, I've had a couple of dozen casts. There's nothing really happening here. So I think what I will do is, I think I'll just get back at the top and have a little wander around and see what I can find. See if I can find some little sheltered spots where I can fish into, and like I say, get a float out as well. I've got a bit mackerel and I've got some lugworm as well. So I've got a bit of bait with us. Right, like I say, I'm going to move around lots and lots. So I've spent 40 minutes here. That's long enough for me. I want to explore the area, and if there's no fish biting straight away, I'll go and find some. Right, I'll bring you back when I get to the next mark. Right, mark number 2. So I've picked one of the big gullies, which is where the divers come in. There's nobody diving today. Now I know it's quite deep here and it's sheltered. There's none of the swells coming in. There is a load of mank in there. But there might still be some fish there, so I'll just have a few casts in here and see if I can get anything out. This is the sort of places where the pollock will lurk. I've got a white lure on still, which I think will be the best option in this kind of water because it's not particularly clear. So I'll need to help the fish to see the lure. So I'm just chucking it across the other side and just pulling it across really. Trying not to get it stuck in the seaweed, but letting it get far enough down in the water for it to reach the fish. I'll not stay at this mark long because if there's any fish, they'll see the lure. Maybe 7 or 8 casts. If nothing comes up, then it means there's nothing here. Predatory fish will, they'll go for a lure that's a good few feet away, so it's quite easy to cover the ground. And I'm just pulling it right along the ledges as well, right in close. There's no need for a big cast, just pop over there, let it sink, and then wind it in really slowly. It's like a paddle tail that I've got on. You don't have to wind them fast, and the tail gives like an action to it looks like a little fish. I think the water's too murky here. Right. Let the adventure continue. Right, so to be honest with you, it's more about the walk and just clearing my head a bit. Oh, if I can get a bit of fishing in as well, that'll be great. But it's been a rough couple of weeks. I needed just to get out, have some me time, and this is a nice place to do it. So the scenery is just stunning, nice wildlife, and a few places to chuck a rod in as well. And the rock formations down here, the cliffs must be, I don't know, 300, 400 feet high, and it's just layer after layer of hard rock going down into deep water. It really is a stunning place. Yeah, so like I say, just had a couple of rough weeks. If you've never been up to Eyemouth before and you're thinking of coming up, you need to be fit. That's one thing I'll say. I mean, I haven't even covered a mile yet, and I'm absolutely knackered, and I'm fit, fitter than most. So yeah, if you come up here, travel light. That's my advice. Take the lightest gear you can take, a sturdy backpack, and a really good pair of boots or walking shoes with really grippy soles on them. So we'll carry on. I'm just going to walk as far as I can walk along here, really. Stretch my legs and see what I can find. Right, I've been walking for probably an hour and a half. I'm knackered. I've went as far down that way as I wanted to go, and I've came back over. There's a hell of a hill to come up and over, really tiring. So I've stopped here next to the footpath that comes through the golf course. I've had a sandwich and I'm going to have a cup of coffee. Oh, I feel much better for being out. I'm just looking down there to see if there's any bits I can fish, but it's quite rough. The only bit I can see is that bit over there. There's like a little gully comes in. I'm not sure how deep it is, but if it's not very deep, I can try my surface lures and just pull them across the top of the water. I've never used them before, so it'll be interesting to see how they work. There's a path runs down the side here. I'll show you where that is. So just back along here, and there's a path comes down, and it goes down. And what I'll do is I'll walk along the beach, along the dry rocks, and just see if I can get onto that a little bit rock over there. GoPro, start recording. As I was climbing out, I noticed, see the indentations in the rock? That looks man-made. I don't know what that would have been for. Some sort of beams or something, I don't know. Any ideas? Let us know if you know what it is in the comments. There's some really bonny rocks around here. All kind of two-tone, multi-tone. Fantastic. Amazing geology. That'll be a nice scramble down there in the summer, just fishing into those big gullies and stuff. There's quite a few places along here. You've just got to have a look and figure out how to get down. So it's been nice to get the drone out today. It's always one of them things, you don't use the drone very often, so when you do, you tend to have a bit of a crash course every time you do it. It's quite a lot to think about when you're flying a drone. You've got all the yoke controls, so up and down, left and right, circle. You've got tilt, like forwards, tilt backwards, and you've got to remember to do things like updating your home point and calibrating the compass and stuff. So when I was over the rocks just before there, it was out over the rocks where I would never ever have gotten it back from. And the controller suddenly shouted, "Landing, landing." I was like, no! Oh, I've already lost one drone. I lost it in Kielder. It was when I think it was the third time out, and it just went plop into the water. I was gutted. So I'm always ultra cautious and ultra jumpy when I've got the drone out. So I hope you've enjoyed the footage that I've gotten for you. Get some great angles of the rock marks that you would never normally get to see. That's a nice little house for someone. I like it. My favourite comedy programme, well, one of my favourite comedy programmes, Still Game. So you can see that, but there's a seal in the harbour over there. Well, there's a couple. Yeah. Right, I'm just setting up with the float set up. So I've got a bit of black lug on. I've got a few beads because the water's very cloudy. I've got a little hook length, swivel, a barrel lead, a float, and a bead, and then I've got a bit of rubber band which I can run up and down to any length I want, and then that means I can adjust the depth of the float. So float will be on the top, the weight will go down, and this will kind of float freely in the tide. Hopefully pick up a fish or two. I'm just going to swing it round. As you can see, the float's too small for even just one bullet lead. So I'm going to swap that over to a different float. Right, there you go. Bigger one. And I've put 2 bullet leads on because that is much more buoyant. That's better. That's floating nicely. Float fishing is probably the most relaxing fishing technique you could ever wish for, really. Just chuck out the float. It's usually calm water, so just sit watching your float, waiting for it to bob up and down. Perfect. Ah, there's a seal over there. Don't know if you can see him. Just pop his head out down there. I think I'll just bring this in and chuck it out a bit further. My line keeps getting dragged underneath here. There's nothing touching my bait here. I think the combination of the brown water and the seals is, yeah, I think it's going to negatively affect the fishing. What I'll do is I'll give this another 10 minutes out there. 6.1 miles so far. There you go. 6.1 miles. Right, I think I've spent enough time on this. think I'll get it in. Right, I'm just going to put a little bit tip mackerel onto the lug rum. We'll have a few trucks here. I'm halfway along the beach. It's very, very dirty, the water, so I don't hold much hope at all. But at least you've seen the different marks around Eyemouth, and you've seen what sort of different types of fishing you can do here. And in the summer months it is much more productive. Winter, not so much. So I'm just going to chuck it out. Doesn't need to go far. Let's see if there's any flatties around. But I'll just drag it slowly in. Flatties don't need a great depth of water, so they could literally be right in the side here. So this session could be the blank session. There's a few of you commented on the last video saying that we should post the blank sessions. I think for one like this, it's probably fine. It's been some lovely scenery. And it'll probably give you some idea of what you'd like to do when you come up here. I think April, May, then June, July, August, September. That's the most productive time up here. I'm not in any danger here, by the way. I'm literally just going to have a few casts. I'm not... Hello. Can you believe how nice it is today? It's like, well, to the camera, it probably looks like a summer's day, but it's not exactly what I would call warm. In fact, it's bloody freezing. Temperatures drop right down again. You would think for how many hours fishing I've done, I might have caught something, but I haven't even had a bite. Nothing at all. So what I'm doing is, I'm just going to walk to the other side of the caravan park, because I've not really been over there. I just want to see if the water's any clearer and if there's any way down to the bay, because I know there is a couple of fishing marks over here that apparently fish at, you can fish them at any state of the tide. Whether they fish or not is a different matter. But yeah, the sun's just above the horizon over there. So I reckon I've got half an hour, 40 minutes at a push. So if I can get a couple of casts, I'd love to try the surface lures, but you really need clear water for them, because the predatory fish will look up and see the lure swimming across the top of the water and then hopefully go for it. If the water's as filthy as it is at the minute, you've got no chance at all. So I'll head along here. I'll bring you back if I get to another mark. If not, I'll just I'll bring you back when I get to the car, and I'll sum up the day for you. There's a set of steps go down here. Never seen these before. So they go down, well, they are blanked off, but they go all the way down to that rock down there. Right, found this spot, which is, yeah, not too bad. It's, the swell's not too bad here. It's not coming anywhere near close to me. So we should be able to just chuck the free-lined lugworm and mackerel out here. Just let it sink down. See if anything goes for it. I'll try that a couple of times and then I'll stick a lure on. The water's a lot clearer here. This rock, by the way, is really, really grippy. So there's no way I'm going to slip on this stuff. So I'm very safe here. I know I am. It's a nice flat bit of rock as well. That over there is St. Abs. It's a place where I'm hoping to go this year. I need to go with somebody though. I'll not be going there by myself. So yeah, that's definitely on the cards. Really deep, just off here. So this is to the other side of the caravan, the other side of the caravan park. I'll definitely come back here. I think this will be great in the summer. I think I should try a lure sooner rather than later, because the light is fading quicker than I thought. So I've got a swivel on there, a little bit of a leader. That's just in case I get snapped off. Then I don't lose my braid, I just lose the little bit at the end. That's that. Yeah, make sure it's a good knot, because you never know, you might get a fish. So that's what I'm using. It's like a little, what's that, 3 or 4 inches long. I'll give it a half dozen casts, see what happens. And then, yeah, we'll call it a day. So I'm not casting it very far. And I'm just going to let it sink down. It might take a while to sink because it is very light. Maybe I should have put a little weight on actually. I'm just going to kind of jig it as well. The water's deep enough here just to jig it up and down. I think I probably do need a bit extra weight on there. So I'm going to stick a little bullet lead on it, and that'll give us a bit more control over the lure when it's in that rough sea. So I've threaded that on, and I'll just tie again. That's better. That'll sink quicker as well. Ideally I want it to be right off the bottom, because if there's fish there, that's where they'll be, deep. Little village of St. Abs, which is its own harbour. We fished there last year. It was later on in September, and it didn't fish particularly well, but I certainly want to go back because there's some great little rocks that you can climb out onto and fish into some lovely gullies. So in the calmer weather, float fishing there. Oh, let's stick on the rocks. Float fishing there and spinning there should be a joy. You can park right down on the harbour as well, which is always good if you haven't got to walk too far. But I'll be doing a bit fishing with my tent as well, so I'll be staying over for a few nights here and there and just trying out some new marks and things. Do you ever get the feeling you're wasting your time completely? I've got that feeling at the minute. Right, I'm going to pull this one in, and then I'm just going to quickly stick the hook back on, because I've got a load of bait defrosted there, a load of lugworm, which I'm not going to be able to use. So I'm going to put the hook on, a huge bit of bait, and just chuck it just down here. Just give it 5 minutes, and and desperately try to catch you a last minute fish. Right, so what I've got is I've baited up with 2 black lug. I've tipped it with 2 bits of mackerel, just little chunks, and I'm just going to chuck that and let it sit on the bottom, just down here. So I'll give it 5 minutes in the water, and if nothing happens, then nothing happens. So I'm just going to hold the rod, because any bites is I'll detect them straight away. My feet are freezing. I think they're going to fall off. But it's not far back to the car from here. Maybe it's half a mile along through the harbour and through the town. Well, I hope you have enjoyed the fishing today. It has been a blank, but I've enjoyed it. I've tried loads of different methods of fishing to no avail, but it's been a lovely day. Yeah, it was sunny earlier. It was still a bit chilly, but it was bearable. But it is really getting cold now. The temperature's dropping right down. So yeah, I shall sit here for 5 minutes, and then I'll pack up and I'll head off. So there's no reason to bring you back unless I get another fish. Wishful thinking, unless I get a fish. So I'll just say thank you for watching. Thank you to all the subscribers. I've just met a couple actually on the golf course. David, I think he was called, and his missus, they were playing golf, said they watched all the videos. So nice to meet you. Thank you for your support. I got wrong for going on the crag with Mark. Often said don't be going back there, and Josh said that as well. So I'll not be going back there. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed. It's been a nice day out, and I'll see you on the next adventure.